I want you to take a second and just picture a millionaire. Just form the image right there in your head.
Right.
Like, what do they look like? Where are they going? Because if you are like most people, you're probably visualizing someone stepping out of, a sleek luxury sports car,
Oh, absolutely.
wearing a watch that costs more than a starter home, or maybe heading into this massive dated mansion in some exclusive zip code.
Yeah, that's the standard image.
Right. Society has essentially trained us, from the movies we watch to the feeds we scroll every day, to equate wealth with highly visible, extremely expensive things. But what if the image you just conjured up is actually the complete opposite of reality? Today, we are going on a deep dive into a massive stack of notes, data, and research based on, well, one of the most influential personal finance studies ever conducted. It's called The Millionaire Next Door.
It's a classic for a reason.
It really is. Because the authors of this research, they didn't just guess. They studied thousands, literally thousands, of actual millionaires to figure out exactly how they built their net worth.
Real data on real people.
Exactly. And our mission for this deep dive is simple. We are going to completely shatter the biggest myths you have been fed about money and uncover the actual blueprint for wealth.
Because the truth is a lot less glamorous than people think.
Yeah, the millionaire we are looking for. They might literally be living right next door to you, wearing a 10-year-old flannel shirt, mowing their own lawn, and you have entirely failed to notice them. Okay, let's unpack this.
We really do need to unpack it because, the ultimate goal here is to help you understand the actual mechanics of wealth building.
Right.
We have this collective cultural delusion about money. We think we know what wealth looks like, but what we are almost always seeing is just high spending.
Wow, yeah. High spending, not wealth.
Exactly. The research we are looking at today fundamentally rewrites that script. It proves that wealth isn't what you see, it's what you don't see.
Okay, wait, what does that mean exactly, what you don't see?
Well, wealth is the money that hasn't been spent. It's the options that haven't been exercised yet. And by the end of this conversation, I want you to have a firm grasp on how ordinary people build extraordinary net worth completely under the radar.
Bypassing all the normal status games?
Bypassing them altogether, yeah.
But, practically speaking, if someone has millions of dollars in the bank, wouldn't we know it?
You'd think so?
Right. If you have the resources, why not use them? Don't they want to enjoy the luxury cars, the massive houses, the designer clothes?
Sure, some do, but...
Why on earth would you work so hard to build wealth just to hide it like a secret agent?
Well, it's not really about hiding it. It's about a fundamental difference in psychological wiring.
Right.
It comes down to understanding the gap between looking wealthy and actually being wealthy. The researchers categorize people into two distinct camps.
Right, the acronyms.
Yeah. UAWs, which stands for under-accumulators of wealth, and PAWs, prodigious accumulators of wealth.
So the people you see driving those luxury cars and wearing those designer labels.
The data shows a shocking number of them are actually UAWs.
Really?
Yeah, they might have massive top-tier income, sure, but they also have immense debt and surprisingly low net worths because they spend everything they make on status symbols.
Oh, wow. So they are literally just spending all their income to look rich.
Exactly. Whereas real millionaires, the PAWs, are doing the exact opposite.
So we're essentially talking about overriding the human instinct to show off. Because sociologically, there's a reason we do this, right?
Oh, definitely.
If you go back thousands of years, humans use physical markers to signal their status to the tribe.
Yeah, the biggest spear, the best pelts.
Right. And today, instead of the biggest spear, it's a financed BMW.
It's evolutionary signaling, and modern marketing has basically weaponized it.
That is such a good way to put it, weaponized signaling.
Yeah. But the prodigious accumulator of wealth, the PAW, actively overrides that neurological impulse. To understand how they build their balance sheet, we have to look at the mechanics of their frugality.
Which is their secret weapon, right?
It is. They live simple, ordinary lives, focusing heavily on asset accumulation rather than depreciating displays of income. They understand a critical distinction.
And what's that?
The difference between luxury and wealth.
Okay.
Luxury is a momentary depreciating experience. Wealth is unspent power. It is autonomy, security, and freedom.
I want you to think about your own life for a second. Think about your last pay raise or promotion.
This is a great exercise.
Did your savings rate go up, or did your Amazon cart just get suddenly more expensive?
Almost always the cart.
Right. The sources call this lifestyle inflation. It's the phenomenon where as soon as you start making more money, your baseline expenses magically rise to meet your new income level.
It happens to everyone.
You get a $10,000 bump, and suddenly you convince yourself you absolutely need a $10,000 kitchen renovation, or you have to upgrade to a luxury SUV.
And the research constantly points to automobiles as the ultimate wealth destroyer in this regard.
Oh, cars are the worst.
The worst. The typical UAW buys cars by the pound. They want the newest, heaviest, flashiest thing to signal their income.
Even if they have to finance the whole thing.
Exactly. Let's look at the mechanics of that. Imagine a scenario where someone gets a promotion and decides they deserve a luxury car, financing it for, say, $1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month.
Right. That is capital being poured into an asset that loses a massive percentage of its value the literal second the rubber hits the road.
It's not just the depreciation, though. I was thinking about this. And lifestyle inflation sounds exactly like running on a treadmill.
Oh, I like that.
Right. The faster you run, meaning the more money you make in your career, the faster the belt goes.
Yeah.
You're sweating, you're working harder, you're taking on more stress at the office, but you aren't actually moving forward financially.
You're just staying in the exact same place, but with nicer shoes.
Exactly. Nicer shoes, but you're still exhausted.
The treadmill is powered entirely by the status trap. Society dictates that success must be visible to count.
Right. If you don't look successful, people might think you're struggling.
Exactly. So high earners keep bumping up the speed on the treadmill, financing a life they can barely afford on a month-to-month basis just to keep up appearances.
And what about the millionaire next door?
They simply unplug the treadmill.
Just step right off.
Yeah, they do not care what their neighbors think of their car. In fact, the data shows the vast majority of self-made millionaires drive reliable, used, mass-market cars, and they hold on to them for nearly a decade.
So they care about their balance sheet and not their driveway.
100%.
So, okay, if we accept that you can't out-earn a bad spending habit, and you can't outrun the treadmill, how do these prodigious accumulators actually build the gap between what they make and what they spend?
That's the million-dollar question, literally.
Because we all know the basics of budgeting. We know we're supposed to spend less than we earn, but clearly knowing the math isn't enough, otherwise everyone would be wealthy.
Right.
What is the actual mechanism they use to control their defense?
They use a system of artificial scarcity.
Artificial scarcity.
Yeah. The traditional flawed approach to budgeting is to earn your money, spend it on your lifestyle, and try to save whatever is left over at the end of the month.
Which usually isn't much.
Because of Parkinson's law, it dictates that expenses will always expand to fill the available income. There's never anything left over.
Ah, right. If the money's in the checking account, you're going to find a way to spend it.
Exactly. But the millionaires in this study flip that entirely. They pay themselves first to an extreme degree.
How extreme are we talking?
They allocate a massive percentage of their gross income, often 20, 30, or 40%, directly into investments before they ever see it.
40%.
Yes. And they force themselves to live on the remainder.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because the word budget usually makes people cringe.
It really does.
When you talk about saving 30 or 40% of your income, to an informed audience, that sounds like a financial diet where you just starve yourself of any joy. You have to say no to the dinners out, no to the vacations, no to all the conveniences. So how do these millionaires reframe this artificial scarcity so it doesn't just feel like a lifelong punishment of deprivation?
It comes down to a complete psychological shift regarding what money is actually for.
Okay, unpack that.
UAWs view money as a tool to buy goods and services. Pause. The real millionaires view money as a tool to buy time and autonomy.
Time and autonomy.
Exactly. When you reframe your budget from, oh, I can't buy this luxury car because I'm on a strict financial diet, to, I am actively using this capital to buy my own financial independence.
Oh, it totally changes the emotional resonance.
Completely changes it. You aren't starving yourself of fun. You are intentionally starving your ego today so that you can feed your freedom tomorrow.
Wow.
The friction of saying no to a purchase disappears when you realize you're actually saying yes to owning your own time.
Okay, so we've stepped off the treadmill, we've mastered the defense, we're using artificial scarcity, and we have a pile of cash ready to be deployed.
Right, the defense is set.
But as we pivot to the offense, the question isn't just that they invest, it's how they invest. Because we all know the basic math behind compound interest, right? That's personal finance 101.
Sure, everyone knows the concept.
But keeping money in a high-yield savings account
Right.
or wildly throwing it at trendy stocks isn't how the millionaire next door builds a fortune.
No, it absolutely isn't. If you just leave capital sitting idle,
Yeah.
inflation quietly dismantles its purchasing power year after year.
Right.
We have to look at what investing really means in the context of these self-made wealth builders. They aren't day trading. They aren't trying to time the market based on whatever is on cable news.
No getting-rich-quick schemes.
None. They are relentlessly focused on purchasing and building equity in assets that appreciate in value or produce income over long time horizons.
They are deeply patient allocators of capital.
Extremely patient.
I mean, think about the mechanics of compounding for a second. Investing without compounding is basically like pushing a massive boulder up a hill yourself.
It's grueling work.
Grueling, linear work. Every dollar you make requires an equal amount of your own sweat.
Yeah.
But what these millionaires are doing with their investments is essentially building a machine that pushes the boulder for them while they sleep.
That's exactly what it is.
It takes a long time to build the machine. You have to design the gears, grease the wheels, get it running. But once it's on, momentum just takes over.
What's fascinating here is the specific type of machine they choose to build.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that.
The data from the sources shows that they aren't just sitting in standard index funds, though, they use those too, but often they are compounding equity in incredibly boring, highly scalable, unglamorous businesses.
We're talking about like commercial real estate, local logistics firm.
Waste management, industrial supply.
So things with zero cool factor.
Literally zero. They choose investments that lack any kind of social cachet.
Right, because if you are at a cocktail party, no one is impressed when you say you own a chain of Queen-operated laundromats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is entirely by design.
Wait, really? By design?
Yes. They avoid the highly competitive, ultra-glamorous sectors where everyone else is losing money trying to be the next tech visionary.
Ah, that makes sense. Less competition.
Right. They find a dull, necessary industry, plant their capital there, and let the compounding machine do the heavy lifting over 2 or 3 decades.
So they aren't looking for a thrill.
Not at all. The true millionaire next door has a remarkably high tolerance for boredom when it comes to their investments. They don't want excitement, they want yield.
But wait, if the formula really boils down to this, create artificial scarcity, aggressively invest the difference, and let the compounding machine run in boring industries, why do so many incredibly smart, highly educated people fail to achieve it?
That is the million-dollar psychological question.
Because we have to look at the psychological traps and the specific career choices that actually derail people.
This raises a hugely important question about the vast chasm between high income and high wealth.
Which people think are the same thing.
We tend to conflate the two completely, assuming that a high salary automatically equals a high net worth. But they are entirely different metrics.
How so?
Income is a measure of what you bring home in a given year. Wealth is a measure of what you've kept over a lifetime.
Oh, that's a great distinction.
The sources highlight a phenomenon known in Texas as being all hat and no cattle.
All hat and no cattle.
Yeah. Many people with staggering incomes, specialized medical professionals, high-level corporate executives, top-tier lawyers, they often have shockingly low net worths relative to what they actually earn.
Because they are trapped in a completely different social ecosystem.
Exactly.
If you are a high-powered attorney, there is immense cultural pressure to live in a specific zip code, to, send your kids to the elite private schools, wear the tailored suits, and join the right country club.
It's expected of them.
It's almost like a hidden tax on their profession.
It is a massive status tax. They are forced, or at least they feel forced, to spend their massive incomes just to maintain an image of success that is expected of someone in their position.
So they make $500,000 a year, but save almost none of it.
Right. On the flip side, the typical millionaire next door who owns that chain of dry cleaners or a modest welding business faces zero pressure to look a certain way.
Because no one expects the local welder to drive a Ferrari.
Exactly. They can live in a middle-class neighborhood and drive an 8-year-old Ford without anyone batting an eye. The difference between navigating a traditional high-status corporate job and owning a quiet, profitable blue-collar business is often where the wealth gap completely explodes.
Which highlights a major lesson from the material that really stuck with me. These millionaires value time and autonomy far more than they value status.
Oh, without question.
Many people become functionally poor simply by trying to look rich to their peers. But true financial freedom means owning your Tuesday mornings. It means waking up and deciding what you want to do with your day, rather than being chained to a massive mortgage on a house you basically only sleep in.
They prioritize autonomy over optics. When you are beholden to enormous monthly payments to maintain an image, you don't own your time. Your creditors own your time.
Yeah.
Your partners at the firm own your time. You are trapped in a golden cage of your own making, working 80-hour weeks just to pay the interest on the lifestyle.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, right now? Let's say you just got a massive promotion or your business had a record year.
It's a critical moment.
Everything around you, your friends, your family, your social media feeds, it's all screaming at you that it's time to upgrade your life.
Treat yourself right.
Yeah. You got the new title, so you need the new car. You hit the revenue goal, so you need the bigger house. How do you actually practically resist that intense cultural pressure that dictates a high income requires a high-status lifestyle?
It requires an ironclad vision of what you actually want your future to look like, and a conscious decoupling of your income from your outward display.
So you have to separate what you earn from what you show.
Exactly. When that promotion hits, the discipline move, the paw move, is to celebrate quietly, keep your lifestyle exactly the rigid same, and direct 100% of that new income increase directly into your compounding machine.
Just pretend the raise didn't even happen.
You have to ask yourself a hard question in that moment. Do I want to look rich for strangers at a stoplight, or do I want the ultimate luxury of being wealthy enough to retire a decade early?
It's a binary choice between external validation and internal freedom.
That's exactly what it is.
Wow. Okay, so you've stepped off the treadmill. You've built the wealth through artificial scarcity and boring compounding, and you are entirely ignoring the status games.
You've done everything right.
But what happens when you die?
But-
Because we've all seen the headlines of a family fortune evaporating the literal second the kids get their hands on it.
Oh, it happens all the time.
There are plenty of stories of someone building an empire, and then it's just gone in the blink of an eye.
The transition from building wealth to preserving it across generations is notoriously brutal. There's an old proverb, shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations.
Oh, I've heard that.
Right. The first generation builds the fortune through grit and frugality. The second generation maintains it but loses the edge. And the third generation, having grown up entirely insulated from scarcity, completely squanders it.
They just blow it all.
Yeah. The sources detail a concept called economic outpatient care.
Economic outpatient care, like a hospital.
Kind of. This is when wealthy parents continually subsidize the lifestyle of their adult children. You know, paying for their down payments, their extravagant vacations, their kids' private schools.
And the data shows that this economic outpatient care actually destroys the child's ability to generate their own wealth.
It ruins it.
By smoothing out all the financial friction in their kids' lives, they're essentially amputating their financial independence.
Precisely. The families that successfully stay wealthy across multiple generations, they don't just pass down trusts. They pass down a deeply ingrained financial operating system.
They have to teach them the mindset.
Yeah, they teach their children the mechanics of artificial scarcity and the dangers of the status trap early and often. They make absolutely sure the kids experience the friction of earning and saving.
It really makes me think of a relay race.
Okay, how so?
Well, it doesn't matter how incredibly fast you run your lap or how massive a lead you build. If you fumble the baton handoff to your kids, your team still loses the race.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
But the critical mistake most parents make is thinking the baton is the money. The baton isn't the cash. The baton is the discipline.
The relay race is spot on, but here's the catch. Most parents don't even realize they're holding a baton.
Wow, yeah.
They think shielding their kids from hardship is the prize. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it proves definitively that becoming and staying wealthy isn't about luck.
Right.
It's not about inheriting some massive windfall. It is about a consistent, repeatable set of behaviors. It's about passing that baton of discipline to yourself every single day and eventually making sure your children know how to grip it before you hand it off.
Because if they don't know how to hold it.
When parents pass down just the money without passing down the operating system, the wealth just evaporates.
Which brings us to the final reveal of this entire deep dive. The absolute biggest twist from all this research, the reality that shatters all the illusions we talked about at the very beginning.
The main takeaway.
A real millionaire is never recognized by their expensive car. They are not recognized by their designer clothes, the zip code of their primary residence, or the lavish vacations they post about online.
Never.
A real millionaire is recognized by one metric and one metric only: their net worth.
It is the ultimate truth of personal finance. Assets minus liabilities.
Not your salary.
Not income, not credit limits, not perceived status. Net worth is the only scorecard that actually matters in the real world when the music stops.
And that scorecard is entirely within your control. For you listening right now, understanding these mechanics and changing your financial habits today can completely alter the trajectory of your next 10, 20, or 30 years.
It's never too late to start.
You do not need a massive six-figure salary to start building the machine. You just need to evaluate your own spending versus saving ratio.
Step off the treadmill.
Take a hard look at your bank statements this week. Are you operating as a PAW or a UAW? Figure out your exact ratio and then take one step today to improve it, even just by 1 or 2%.
Because that small percentage, pushed into the compounding machine and given enough time, will grow into something massive.
Right.
It just takes patience, discipline, and the sheer willingness to walk a completely different path than the crowd.
We want to leave you with a final lingering question to ponder on your own. We've talked a lot today about the intense battle between sociological status and actual hidden wealth.
The status tax.
Yeah. So imagine this. If you woke up tomorrow in a world where everyone was completely 100% invisible.
Invisible.
Where no one could ever see what car you drove, what brand of clothes you wore, or how big your house was, how much of your current spending would instantly disappear?
That is a tough question.
Are you spending your capital to buy your own freedom? Or are you just paying for front row tickets for an audience that isn't even watching?